talking about it. Shut up.
Alright, so let's get into it then.
What, cunt?
It's not about him, guys, okay?
Not about me now.
Then why are you inserting yourself constantly? Shut up, cunt.
I'm just saying.
Beach, would you like to expand?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's two experiments. One is the one that you're talking about, which is Eminem. I forget what are their names again.
Mickelson and Morley.
Yeah, Morley. One of them, I think it's Mickelson, then did a second one with Galison and Pear, I think, or something like that. And in one case they were looking for ether drag, and in the other case they were looking for ether drift. And what really happened is that neither one of those experiments in and of itself gave any kind of conclusion about anything. It was when you take the two experiments together, then you were sort of left with no alternatives, because one ruled out drag and one ruled out drift.
But in the
Could you explain
stationary
what was the second one?
It was like a collective curb stomping of the whole ether idea, basically.
I mean, I think it was repeated by the military in the 80s, and the same results, no motion.
Sure.
So again,
in those experiments, they actually found no motion.
No motion of what, Kimo?
Earth rotation. Earth's not moving.
Are you sure it's not no rotation of an ether?
Well, they didn't detect the ether, did they? Like
military? The military or one particular
just
dingo
a branch somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if it's like just
Must be talking about the Russian.
Are we talking about what's his name? Leather Wolf or Silver Wolf or something like that?
I don't know the name.
The one that couldn't get his paper and his findings published, and he ended up writing a letter to the editor or something of one of the papers, or a paper publish, one or the other. I don't recall which one.
He wrote to a journal, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened, and that was cited as being published in a journal, that he wrote a letter to the editor or some shit like that.
I got published. I wrote a letter to my mama, and she published it on the refrigerator.
And no reproduction of his claim findings. Good job, Kimo. This is QE science.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What you're talking about?
I said the military.
I think he does.
Yeah, this is the military thing that you're referring to.
How would
if I'm wrong, correct me and tell me what you are referring to.
Well, like I just said, I watched the video where the guy explained. I'd have to dig it up.
Right, you watched a video explaining something. Dress also posted a video of a guy explaining something. It's the same level, so why are you crediting your video with the guy explaining something as fact without doing any research further, and then claiming Dress's video is bullshit scripted?
What I did, BioJewel, is I posted several articles and white papers showing the experiment that had been done to back up the fact that I was posting a video. So the video was supposed to be the example, and in fact, actually what they were doing, they were putting the small balls inside a vacuum to isolate it from any interference. And the big balls weren't. So I knew Kimo was going to pivot on that because I thought that would be funny. But yeah, that was the whole point, showing that these experiments have been done. And I brought up a little bit of anecdotal video, and I just thought it was funny. It was on YouTube.
So it was great. Yeah. I think accompanying it with scientific papers showing a methodology, showing the process, showing measurements, calculations, and results. It's all great. Yeah. Kimo just has a video of some dude's interpretation that he's probably still getting wrong, but that's all he's got. You're right.
Pretty cool, but really. The test has already been done, is what I'm saying. That someone repeating it is not that big of a deal. People have tried, and they can't show that they've shown the Earth to be moving.
Kimo, it's what they were trying was to see how they weren't testing to see if the Earth was spinning. They were testing to measure the if they can tell the difference of the way light moves with the fact that there's a static ether background and a rotating Earth moving in around the sun, and if they could pick this up and measure it. And
anyway, that's
what they
just
found
one
out
experiment.
was that they didn't get an answer from that, and we later found out that there's not an ether.
That's just one. We're trying to find out if the Earth moves. Here's another experiment that has been done. So if you
Kimo, here's a good question. Nikolai asked. The Michelson Morley, was that performed in a vacuum?
Oh shit!
If it wasn't performed in a vacuum, then we can just hand wave dismiss it, right? I mean, under your own standard.
He's not going to video
Invalid
that.
test.
We don't have a video of this test. It's not in a vacuum. So I think, according to Kimo's own standards, we can now hand wave dismiss Michael Morley.
Good if you understood science. But
No, that's a great claim. But again, was Michael Morley conducted in a vacuum? And can you show a video of this?
again, what's the reason for putting it in the vacuum?
No. Can you just please do those?
So you don't even know
I'm
why.
I'm just raising the
asking for
standard to
random
you,
things
your
like a
standards.
child.
No, I'm raising the standard to what you're.
You're not raising the standard. You don't know why the vacuum is there in the first place.
No. I'm raising the standard to your standard.
Yes,
Can you please provide Michael Morley inside of a vacuum?
Well, what was
and
the
on
purpose
video,
of that? What's the purpose?
To avoid refraction.
Because I'm moving the goalpost. That's
I'm
that's
asking,
fine.
what's the purpose of putting in the
Avoid
vacuum?
refraction.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
To comply
okay.
with your demands that all control variables or controllable variables be removed.
So you think about that
Yeah.
why you're
Refraction.
introducing the vacuum in the first place.
It's amazing that he hasn't done that because, I mean, it sounds like he's got a bendy standard ruler here.
Yeah. Hey, Kimo, are your thoughts formed in a vacuum or are they all invalid?
What we're going to do with the next experiment, Curb, you know, like when they put
On the way out.
they
In the
put
vacuum.
clowns
Like I
in
did that, Kimo.
cannonballs. So we're going to put you in a cannonball and fire you straight
ignore
up.
it.
Yes?
He's got pressure
We're
inside
going to
his
put
brain.
one of those wigs
It's
on
not a
you,
container.
a clown wig,
I think we
and
need
we're going
to
to
take
put
the
you in one of
no out
those
his
cannonball
channel
things,
title.
and we're going to
Kimo,
fire
was it
you.
done in a vacuum?
We're going to fire you straight up, and
I gave you a reason why with the
you should not land in the same
vacuum
place
versus without.
curved on the way down, but you would land straight in the same place. Fall back
Hey, Kimo,
where you were.
was it done in a vacuum?
Where you went up, you would come straight back down. And that proves that the Earth is not spinning.
Are you gonna breathe? Okay, was it done in a
How
vacuum?
many times have you done this test, Kimo? And have you done it in a vacuum?
Is there
Where's
video?
the video?
And where's the video?
Unedited.
Herb wouldn't survive
Nope, that's a movie, Kimo. I'm sorry. You got to show us a
in
video.
a vacuum.
Let's stay
There's
on
no
track
pressure
with
to
the Michael Morley in a vacuum due to the refraction of the atmosphere. So we need to remove the atmosphere to make sure that the light's not being manipulated within the test. So do you have this, Kimo?
No, I don't have that now.
So the Michael Morley have now been hand wave dismissed. Thank you.
If you think that's a cause, that can be
what's
manipulated. You can do that.
Okay, so we can now eliminate Michael Morley. Keep going.
Yep. So if the Earth were
Not evidence for
spinning,
you.
if the Earth was spinning, then obviously helicopters and hot air balloons would be able to just hover over the Earth and wait for their destination to come to them.
False.
That's an experiment you can conduct.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Conservation of momentum, Kimo.
Kimo,
Oh my god.
what's up, buddy?
Child Kimo? Are you just playing little games, little cute little pretend bits of flat Earth games, or are you serious?
Well, we have the experiments. As long as we,
Right.
as long as we have the effect, the cause and effect.
Right.
That's
We
how we
eliminated Michael Morley, right?
Right, I get it. I get how to make my distinction now, Kimo. Why you want to argue about the debate about the experiments that are irrelevant and not just talk about like something that could just clear it up once and for all, you know?
Well, we have that. We have Cavendish that shows.
You have a map? Oh my God, they got a map. He's about to clear it up.
Yeah, we have a map. You can use Google Earth and make it into a flat map if you want.
Well, it doesn't work without distortion that way.
No, there's no distortion if you flatten it out on Google Earth.
No, that's when it becomes distorted.
Show me the distortion.
The exact opposite of what you're saying is true.
Show the distortion.
But
Okay,
you have,
I'll
a,
share
you
my
have a
screen.
correct answer. You have
Yeah,
a correct answer.
Google
Kimo.
Earth when it's flat.
Is wrong.
Pretty sure what Kyoto's going to show you
Use
is
the
something
flat
you've probably
map to
already
travel
seen. When
all
you
over the Earth
zoom
anywhere
in-
you want.
when you zoom into particular latitudes and the scale changes despite not changing your zoom, that's distortion.
Okay, why don't you
Right,
watch
you-
my screen while you're talking to these guys? Okay.
You can
And
use
look down.
Google Earth if
Crazy.
you want to travel around because
Sure.
they use a flat map and
Look down
wrap
at
it
this
around
part
the
right here,
ball
Kimmy.
anyway.
Come on, Kimo, you're honest. Watch
Okay.
Kosho's stream.
I'm going to go and
got
look
the,
after the kids, so I'll catch you
I've
guys
got
later.
the meme
It's a good thing
here.
for any parent to do.
This guy says they take a ball they take a flat Earth and they wrap it around the board. So if you want a flat Earth, just use Google.
Kimo, are you watching Kocho's stream right now?
Yeah, it's got a map on there. Yeah.
And do you see the scale, the legend on the bottom right, showing the 100 miles for the distance?
No, go to the real pictures, Kosho, the photographs.
Yeah, he's on Google Maps right now.
Oh no, yeah, but make it the real satellite version.
Oh,
That's
there you go. Look at the key at the bottom.
right. Now make it the flat version. No, zoom out. That's the board. Make it in the flat map. Go to the settings on the top
left.
left.
The ball because you zoomed out.
No. Go to the top left. Top left. Yeah, this arrow. Good. And go down to your options. I don't know where they are on yours.
I'll find you.
Kimo, are you saying street level? Is that what you want?
No. So go down Kosher and change it to what is it? Stop. Edit. No, not edit map. Change it to yes. Globe here. Look, go down. Stop here. Up. Yeah. Globe. Now it's flat. See?
Beautiful. Now watch this.
No, that's still a globe. Zoom out. Oh no, that's a flat map now. Yeah, that's a flat map. Yeah. Got it right?
Now watch this. See
Look,
the key at the bottom?
There's your flat map. It works. You can travel all over you want. You can go. You got the distances correct. Everything works perfect.
All right, you ready, Kimo?
Yeah, you take this and you wrap it around the ball. That's what you do.
Look at the key at the bottom, Kimo. I did exactly what you said. I'm using the flat map. Look at the key at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. The flat map. The
oh fuck! You go north and south, and then it's almost like the map.
Go down. Look now,
so
Kosho, go the distance from.
Fuck, Kimo.
Do the distance from the south to the ice wall. See how far that is. No, go down. Back down.
You see the key? How it's changing, Kimo?
No. I'm saying if you want to get your distances, you can use this flat map here. From here to the ice wall. Look, this is the end of the Earth. See?
Yeah, do you see how the key is changing?
Doesn't matter about all that. Don't worry about all that. Look here.
No, it does, because that's
you have to worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about all that.
This big ice wall.
Just don't worry about it. If you had this on a piece of paper, all that stuff wouldn't be changing, right? If this was just on a piece of paper, you'd have to use this as it is on an actual map.
You don't.
On a map in your hands, Kosho, them big maps that you pull out, that you open up. You wouldn't get all those numbers changing. You would just see the roads, the distances, and then you would know what's going on.
It shows you. An atlas will show you different parts of the Earth by sections.
No. We asked for a map, and this is the map that you can. You've got all the distances on there. If you need to know how long it would take you to get somewhere, it will tell you. You can use this flat map right here. Go to the ice wall, and that's the end of your journey. You turn back around. You go back up to the top. And that's the end of you. Just simple. So this is your map. This is where you live.
50 miles down here is this big, right?
Yeah.
That's 50 miles down there in Antarctica. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about all of that, because like I said,
that
if you're looking for a map to give you direction,
double what the 200 miles is over here.
Yeah, again, don't worry about all of that. Just if you want to get from A to B.
Don't worry about that direct evidence that refutes flat Earth. Don't worry about that part.
Yeah, don't worry about all that, because if you had a map in your hand, you wouldn't have all those numbers moving. You would just read the map as it is.
You won't have a worldwide map. You won't have a worldwide one piece of paper map. You'll have a number of sections, and they will all have different keys depending on how big your map is. If you have a map of a city, you're going to have a particular key. If you have a map of a state, you're going to have a particular key. That's what's going to happen. You're not going to have a one piece of paper world map.
I could print this out and travel the world, no problems.
No, you can. You're just not going to have accurate distances.
Of course, going to have accurate. It's all there. I would, Kosho, go down again. Press right click and measure distance. From there to there.
Measure which distance?
The measure. Okay, right click it.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll measure the exact same distances as in reference to something I have here. I have a Q-tip here. I'll measure the distance of a Q-tip over here in Venezuela. Hold on.
So this is your flat map, okay? And it works just fine. You can get your distances, get your sizes. There you go, measure distance.
I have an idea.
There you go. There you go. That's your
Can you handle
distance. So
this?
you know how
Kimo,
far on your flat
I got
map.
an easy.
You know how
experiment for
far
you.
on the flat map you need to travel
what's your
to go
curvature
from here
experiment?
to. You know how far on your flat map you need to go from here to here.
Okay.
No curvature.
Hold on,
just
Kimo. Watch
Straight
this.
line.
Watch this. He's going to measure the same length of a Q-tip at a different latitude. So that other one was 831 miles.
No, don't
Let's
worry about
see
that. Like I
what
just
this
said.
is, the length of a Q-tip. Let's see.
Yeah, how's he going to get the same
Oh,
there?
fuck, 146. Oh, shit. It's almost like the map is distorted. So if you want to measure distances, knowing the latitude and the scale at that latitude is important. Oh,
No,
fuck.
don't worry about all that. Like I said, if you want to get from A to... So at the bottom of South America, if you want to travel to the top, we've got the distance. Not a problem. And that's how it works, Kosher. You just go down, use your map there.
You're wrong.
This is perfect, Kosher. This is excellent. And you didn't even know about that
I
feature,
can show
did
you why.
Kosher, you didn't even know about that feature, did you? That you can change your flat map.
I'm trying to say something, man.
Ah, Kosher.
You can show yourself why you're wrong, Kimo. You can show yourself. You know how you guys cry about they won't let you travel and you can't do this and that, and you don't have the money in COVID, and baby needs more diapers, so you can't map the earth?
Here we go.
Well, good news, Kimo.
Stage time.
Why don't you take what you say is the proper representation of the earth that's not distorted?
Boom,
Zoom in to your earth map there, Google Earth Map Plat.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and do it as much as you need to and print out each section of it on a piece of paper.
Look, if I had the boys here now,
and
if I had the boys here now, we'd go through the elevation change. If Flatshell was here now,
what's
we'd go
going
through.
on?
If
Kimo,
Flatshell
let
was
him
here
finish,
now,
man.
Am I roboting? Am I roboting?
no, you monologue.
No, Curve, you're perfectly fine. Kimo's just really interrupting you.
Kimo, do you have a problem with this? I've got to wait for you to map the flat earth and prove it to everyone. You should be excited about this. So did you hear what I said, Kimo, or did you talk over too much of it? Do I got to start at the beginning, Kimo? You can answer. I asked a question. I stopped. I waited for you to answer. You're silent.
Sorry about that.
Kimo doesn't want to map
I'm
the
here
flat
now,
earth
I'm
and
here
show
now.
how
Let's
it
pop
works
out the
in
room.
reality.
Look, Curved. It's very simple. Kosher didn't know about this flat map. It was a hidden feature in his.
Kimo.
Hey, Kimo, do you
you're not
gone
gonna
while he's talking and now you're just going to start interrupting him? You need to hear what he said. He'll have to start over now.
Hey, Veach, what's going down?
Take your Google Earth that you say is the correct representation of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
No distortions.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and print it out section by section, and take those pieces of paper and lay them out and form either one, you could wrap it around a globe and see how that works and see that it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Or what?
It won't work because it will be stretched and the piece is missing if I wrap it around it. I've got to keep this as it is.
Right.
flat.
Why is that? Because your flat representation is not the same as the globe.
No,
the globe is the part that works.
No.
The flat map is not.
You're just going to keep going on. I can't respond.
You can't print it out. Kimo, how are you responding when I'm in the middle of explaining?
He just seems
ask
very
me a
intelligent.
question.
Kimo, I think you've been embarrassed enough. I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to stop talking, but the point is you've made your point. You're saying wrap it around a ball, and I'm like, well, there's no need because we're not on a ball for a start.
So wrap it flat. Show us the flat map.
Kosho, you're not looking at Kosho's screen.
Yeah, are you not listening to how all the rest of the people, even me who wants to be in the middle, Kimo, is telling you how he's showing you the problem? It's distorted.
Distortion.
We're all agreeing that there's a distortion.
Look, you keep on saying distortion, but if we measure on this a distance, it will be the same if we go in reality on the flat map.
Here's the distortions for you, Kimo.
So print it out and give us your flat Earth doctrine. Show it.
What are you talking? You've got the map here. Kosho's showing it.
You know that
Kimo,
Bob
you-
Nodell's wife and stuff does stuff like this, and they really can't get it to work. Kimo, do you know
All I
that?
have to do is put this on the tablet, and I can use this flat map to travel anywhere around the world. Why do I need to put it around the globe? They give me the same distances.
Kimo, I've just showed you the exact. Well, it might not be exact, but it's the the amount that they have to actually. What do you call that?
Well, wait till Flatsoid or
they have to distort the sizes. See how if you go away from the equator in the Mercator map, they have to distort the sizes, meaning that the real distance that it would be at the equator, that same distance is not going to be the same in reference to this map. This map is not depicting the same. That's a scale version of the Earth. So when you look at Google Maps and you zoom out, like my screen is right now, this is actually not an actual depiction of the Earth. It's distorted, and it tells you
it looks distorted because it's flat. You don't like it. That's why.
No, it tells you it's distorted.
Well, they would say that, wouldn't they? Obviously.
Okay, look at the North Pole. Look at the North, for instance.
No one's been to the North Pole. I don't even know.
Sure.
All we
Look
know, Kosho, is the three
Bold
continents.
assertion, prove it.
All we know, Kosho, is what we've always known: Africa, Asia, and Europe. That's it. We haven't been beyond that to see what.
That's fine, Kimo, but look at this map. Look at again. Europe is right next to America. Is right next to Asia. They're not on. There's no
don't
North
show it like
Passage.
this.
There's
no
North Passage in any of these. But we know that in the idea of the Earth in which you agree
don't
with,
show it like
there is
this.
a passage.
Put America to the left. Move America over. That's the last little bit of land before it goes to the ice wall. That's it. Once you reach America west as you can, that's it. It's just water then ice. You don't go around all the way around, Kosher. That's the distortion. Is that the distortion is they make you think that you go all the way around. So
Hawaii is right next to the ice wall?
No, that's the only distortion. Is putting those countries so close, Kosher.
Well, no, the distortion is that the size of countries aren't represented the real size they are. The continents are wrong.
No, we've only known Africa, Asia, and Europe. Okay.
Yes, Africa, Asia, and Europe are all fucking missized.
How do the Chinese cargo ships get from China to the U.S.?
To the U.S., where's China, Kosher? Let's have a look at the route. Not that difficult.
Kimo, are you going to be consistent now and say and keep up with what you'd said before in that there's actually no China to the west of America?
No, yeah. So if you go to the west,
yes.
West of America, there's no more land, just water.
Okay, so where is Hawaii?
Wow, that's America to me.
Oh, okay, so we're halfway all the way to China now.
More or less America, isn't it?
Got on a flight from Hawaii to China, what direction would I go?
So you know what I mean? After all,
if I went on Hawaii and I was going to China or Japan, what direction would I go?
What?
If I was in Hawaii and I was going to Japan, which is a very common trip, what direction would I go?
We'll
and how
go
long
east.
would it take?
East.
You go east. Okay, so how many hours would it take to go east to Japan?
How many hours? Depends on what jet they use.
Yes. Well, we have we got a hard limit of about 1,400 miles per hour for the assuming that they go as fast to the Concorde.
No, yeah. So we don't know what.
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't know what they're using. So the flight times are irrelevant.
Well, no, we know they're going on 737s.
The flight times are irrelevant because we don't know what they're using to fly the person to A to B. You can never use flight times as an excuse unless you know exactly what is under the hood. Flight and Furious.
So you're proposing now, in order to make things work, you're proposing magical aircraft that have some unknown technology that makes them fly really fast.
Well,
that
again,
also fly
and now
from Hawaii to China to the east coast of China or Japan, and have to cross all of the land in between without ever crossing the land in between.
Yeah. And
What,
he's
do
going
you
to have
have
to
a
do that
non-stop flight from
while
America to
including
China?
all pilots, all navigation, all people working at airports. The number of people he's just included in this conspiracy to keep us from knowing that there's no land to the west of America is mind-bogglingly huge.
Yeah, let's not forget World War II.
And Hawaii to Japan should be
Why
nonstop.
do you think I'm
Yes.
helping you guys get over this, right? Because it is mind-boggling to think that you've been deceived by everyone, everywhere, at the highest level. This is why we do this. This is the biggest lie. Of course, this is why we push and try and raise the truth, because it's mind-boggling.
There can be no biggest lie if it's not told by you.
Look, you don't have anything to show. You have stories and papers.
You have the biggest lies,
You
Kimo.
have
Never lose sight of that.
You have just like the News of the World, the Sun, Mirror, the Star. Just stories, nothing concrete. Say, yep, this is the distance, this is how we do it.
Like your map?
My map here is Google Earth, and this will tell me where I need to go, and distance-wise.
If that's true, though, Kimo, then you've got a huge problem because going from California to Japan is not going to be a correct.
When I fly around the world, I want to know how far.
Kimo, the News of the World and the Star are two notorious newspapers, two papers notorious for displaying naked ladies. So it's good to know what newspapers you read, Kimo. That's very interesting indeed.
Well, you see them outside the petrol stations, yeah, in the just like.
But why would you see like the Guardian too? But you mentioned those two specifically.
They're the most popular ones.
You have something against naked women, Chris?
No, absolutely not. No, but he likes Jesus, and I think it's like a sin or something.
It's like naked women too.
I mean,
I'm just saying, man. That's why you buy the News of the World or the Star.
Didn't Jesus
buy it for the news?
Is it the News of the World or the nudes of the world?
That's not true, because my ex-wife always used to get the News of the World.
Yeah,
but not the Star though.
So how's her?
I think that says more about your wife than does the newspaper, Joe.
They don't even print the Star anymore, do they?
I don't even know. I
think they do, don't they?
I don't think they print it anymore. I don't think they printed it for about 20 years or something.
Really? Fucking hell.
I don't buy
it.
So Jim, real talk about your ex-wife. How's her current wife?
How's her current wife?
So she's looking at all the new women in the Star.
Well, the thing is, what the point that Kimo was making was we've only got tabloid type information, is what he was trying to say.
Yeah, that's what.
And that's what it is. It's a tabloid newspaper, and so it prints a load of celebrity gossip and bullshit like that. The sort of thing that ex-wives like to read.
Yeah, yes.
I get that, Jim. I was just
trying. It has one page with a naked, semi-naked.
I thought they weren't allowed to do that anymore.
Well, I don't think they do.
I was just trying to bring some levity to the room. I forget that I'm not funny.
Yeah. Well, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So you said you're
so
productive, Jay.
the map here is a very good one, Kosher. I could rely on this.
Oh, there is still a Daily Star. Sorry, I was wrong.
Daily Star. There's
Kimo, come on, Kimo. We all know what Curve was saying. If you print out all the pieces and paste them together, we would expect there to be like missing ocean or something from the flat Earth. And then you have to be like, look, there's the missing ocean. Like, come on, dude.
I don't even know why you'd have to go that far. Whenever I'm showing you that in this image alone, in this image that we're seeing here of the Earth, it's distorted. The sizes all over the map are different.
Well, if we if we put a grid system over that, squares, it works perfectly, Kosher.
No, it doesn't. 0 to 15 degrees north latitude is not the same size on the map
all that is
as,
nonsense.
say, 30 to 45 or 45 to 60 latitude.
Yeah, all that is nonsense,
maps.
really. It's a grid system. You put squares on there. That's
I
how
understand it's a grid system. We're talking about the distortion of the grid system for whatever purpose they're trying to make the map useful for.
How can it be distorted? All the countries are laying out flat. So how can there be distortion? That doesn't make any sense.
But that size.
If you've got parallel lines of longitude on the map,
yeah, forget all of that. That is all nonsense. You're just measuring the countries. Yeah, that doesn't tell you anything because
that's obvious as fuck when you look at Australia. Let's say.
Yeah, all that is just nonsense. Nonsense.
No, you not understanding this is nonsense. You pretending it's not true is nonsense. I brought
the engineer here, remember, the engineer, and he was telling us about the grid system, how they all have to be squares, and that doesn't work on a globe.
No. Oh my God. You bringing somebody who plays with model trains is not bringing an engineer.
Yeah, he was a surveyor engineer and stuff.
An engineer or something.
Anyway, nice map, Kosher. You've seen a new feature that you didn't see before, the flat Earth version of the world. Right, you can use that,
Kimo,
play with that, check that
grid
out.
system you're talking about.
No, you didn't know about this, Coach. You didn't even know where the option was. You were like, "What option?
No,
what,
yeah, you're right.
what is this tab?
You showing me that.
What is this tab here? What does this do? Oh, that's interesting."
And I appreciate that big time. It'll probably do nothing for me, but I appreciate it because it might come up again.
Zoom in. Then let's have a look. Zoom in.
Look, right, I don't even have to zoom in. Look when I'm not zoomed in. Here's the flat map. Look at what 1,000 miles represents.
No, we can't get. How high is that in reality?
How high is that?
Yeah.
How high are you? What are you talking about? This is a.
You wouldn't get to be able to see the Earth from that height anyway. Do we see that much land when we look down at the Earth? No.
It's standard sea line procedure, Kosher.
Right, now look at the squares. Look at the squares. The grid system works perfectly every time.
This is not a grid system. This is the Canadian. This is their states or the territories.
Well, we see straight lines, yeah.
Yeah, because that's how they cut it up. They're boring. They cut it up in squares.
And that works perfectly, yeah. No curved lines, none of that stuff.
Yeah, look at America. We got like a little cook looking guy over there. Okay, we didn't make boring lines.
Kosher, I can't watch your stream and hear the audio. Can you put up one that's got latitude and longitude on it?
Yeah.
Show the distortion. It's evident when you look at those grids that he's calling squares, and they're not square.
Yeah, I see that now. I thought they were.
That's one part of it, and then your longitude differential. That's a big fucking problem.
Kimo, do you know how to put longitude and latitude on this map?
Only on Google Earth. On the app.
Google Earth.
On the app. Okay. You can't do it on the other. You might be able to do it, but I don't know how. No, I mean the application, you got to download it, you know? Don't bother. Or you can if you want. Or just type in Google Earth Grid. Grid system. Well, I don't know, it might come up. There you go. Go to images. This is all nonsense, Kosher. All nonsense. There you go. There's a good one there. Look, squares. Go to images.
Because I want to use the actual Google Earth.
You gonna download it?
No, I don't think I need to download it.
Oh. Anyway, look, it's just there's no point in all this because we've got the flat map. You asked for the flat map. I provided you a flat map. You want to get around, you can use that one just like any other map. So we've got the science, got the maps.
I just want to say, to clarify, I've never asked for a flat map. I have, however, asked for a flat Earth map.
That was a flat Earth map.
Oh.
Just like the Bible says, four corners.
You have them all?
4 corners we saw on that map, and we saw Africa, Asia, and Europe.
Oh, so you really think it's a rectangle now?
got 4 corners, just like the Bible said.
And you think the sun Pac-Mans, the moon Pac-Mans,
Look,
the
I
sky
don't know how the sun works, I don't know how the sky works. God didn't explain fully in detail all that stuff, but he says there are 4 corners, and it
It's your only option.
doesn't move. Now, all you've got to do is prove that God is not right.
It's your only option with that map, Kimo.
Stop arguing with me. Argue with God and show God that it's not what He said it is.
Can you show
Bring them here.
Exists, and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Send him an invite to the server. We'll talk to him.
He sent his messengers, his servants.
His messengers are retarded.
As soon as you show evidence for
Merciful
his existence, we
servants
can address that.
yes?
Until then, you can argue with the unicorns that I claim to be real with.
So the creation is obvious. You can see the creation everywhere. That's obvious. There's a creator. That's obvious. Now, given
No,
this
it's not
word in the
obvious.
book-
You're gonna have to explain it. You're gonna have to explain why a creator or a god is required, and
No, I
that
don't
it
have to
can't
explain
occur
that.
without
You
one.
have to show that what
No,
God has
you're
said,
making baseless claims, Kimo.
not baseless. What is in the Bible.
They are baseless to say on the that they come from your book in the way that you think it came from that book.
But look, you're just
especially when
attacking
you
the
don't
Bible
believe
now. You're
that they're
attacking God.
Especially when you think there's
I'm not getting into religion.
discussion.
Let's not get into religion. All you've
Fucking
got to
hell.
do. The idea was to show God is wrong, and you're not doing that.
Jesus
Prove that
Christ,
there's not
man.
4 corners.
No.
You can go around the board. See?
I thought you said you didn't want to do a religious discussion. Then you just say Jesus Christ immediately after that? Come
No,
on.
I'm not religious. I'm saying that. I'm saying that that's where we get the knowledge from the spiritual world.
Northern Canada.
So we don't have to get into that spiritual world. You just need to show that we're wrong by showing that we're on a board.
There's no K in wrong.
That's already been done.
No, that hasn't been done. You've given us the hypothesis.
It has. Your gross denial of things is not a refutation of the globe model.
No, we're waiting for BioDual to put mass attracting mass in the vacuum. Still waiting for that.
I'm not required to do that, but
We're waiting for BioDual
I'm still
to
planning on
measure
it.
the sun. We're still waiting for that.
No, I never said that I would measure
Yeah,
the
you said you're
sun.
going to make a measurement to the sun.
Oh yeah, too, the distances and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
Still
very
haven't
interested
done
in
that.
doing
So
that.
a
I'm
lot
still
of
trying.
people are still waiting.
Still trying. I'm still trying to.
Whoa, no, Kimo. He never said he was going to do it.
Yes, he
said
did.
he can give you the methodology for you to do.
No.
Right. No, I did provide the methodology. I'm personally interested in doing that, but I'm just trying to find a viable methodology and an opportunity to do that because that would be more difficult.
See, Bios knew. He doesn't realize that making these claims is going to get him into hot water. Whereas the rest of you
No,
guys,
I've provided evidences for everything that I've
the rest of you guys
are
just dance
lacking.
around it and give all
You are
kinds
lacking
of
evidence.
answers, and you know how to play the so-called game. But
Could you stop over talking people constantly?
I was in the middle of talking. He just sort of overtalked me.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
And Kimo, why are you lying about what BioDual said? I was here for that conversation. He said, I'll give you the methodology so you can do it.
No.
You're claiming that he claimed he was going to do it.
It was his claim. So he said he was going to do it, just like the Cavendish. We're still waiting.
No. What happened is that you asked how we could. He said, "How could we?"
Oh,
do that? And I
backtrack now.
provided you a
Okay, it's up to you.
methodology.
Fine. Do what you want to do.
No, I'm interested in doing it. No. There's no backtracking. I am interested in doing
Pull
it.
out.
There's a lot of things that I'm interested in doing. But in the context of that conversation, you asked how we can do it, and I provided you a methodology that you can do. Anybody can do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So we don't have a distance to the sun. We don't have mass attracting mass. That's
No,
where
we do.
are
We have
right
all those
now.
things.
Look, you're not. I promise you, you are not going to show mass attracting mass in a vacuum. Not today, not tomorrow, not next year, ever, never, ever, never.
Nope. I'm about $200 on my Amazon card away from putting an order through for the.
I wouldn't waste your time. I wouldn't bother.
Apparatuses that I've showed you, and what I'm going to do is when I get them, I'm going to set them up in my room. I have 4 webcams in my room, and I'm going to set them all up to my Twitch channel, and then I'm going to stream the entire thing live stream at different angles, and I'll have a camera fixated on the pressure gauge. I'll have a camera above the apparatus so you can see into it and you can see the masses, and then I'll have one that gets everything, and then probably that's it, probably just 3 angles, and I'll live stream the entire thing in its entirety with no edits, and you'll be able to see it.
Don't waste your time.
Why do you have 4 webcams? Are you on Chatterbait?
No, so stepson for school. Stepson for school has his own computer. He has a webcam. I built a computer for my wife. She has a webcam. I have webcam, and then we have a legit webcam for when we stream Friday drunken gaming.
Not trying to be rude, but is your wife on Shutterbait?
She very well could be. But her boyfriend doesn't want me to look at it, so it's fine.
That's fair.
There you
You're
go.
an honorable man.
That's what we're looking for, is positive, affirmative action, yes? About the claims.
You should try it once.
We don't make wild claims. Again, we are very smart.
You make the wildest claims, Kimo. You don't realize it because you hold those claims to be the measure of reality in your mind. That doesn't mean that they're not wild by everyone else's measure. You are not the yardstick of what is reality.
I mean, nowadays you get smart television.
Your credulity is not what has to be met in order for the universe to continue.
You have smartphones, smart apps. Got to be a smart person in this smart generation, you see? And obviously making wild claims that you can't back up is not smart. Now, BioDuel has made 2 wild, outrageous claims about he can...
In your opinion, outrageous.
Yeah, he thinks he can measure the sun, which we don't even know where it is, how
I
high it is.
never said I can measure the sun. Let's get it right. If you're going to put words in my mouth, let's get it right.
Distance to the sun. You think you can measure the distance to the sun, yeah?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you think you can do.
To a degree, to a degree.
And also you think you can produce mass attractive mass. This is too
I
wild.
can't produce it. I can show it. Yeah, I can show it. I can't produce it.
Did that last
but
year.
I can show the...
May I remind you that was last year? Yes.
What in your mind when someone says last year? How long do you think that?
What year did you announce this?
What, beginning of December?
What year?
So not
what
even
year was that?
Oh yeah, it was the last year, like 2 months ago.
That's right. It was last year.
Not 2 months yet, but
I love how you tried to make it seem like he claimed that over 12 months ago, Kim.
Well, it will be. You watch. Every month that expires, we'll be telling them it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You said this.
Sorry, man. I've got this vacuum chamber in my Amazon cart right now, just waiting for the funds to.
Again, we've heard it all before. Bio. We've heard it all before. But
it's all good.
How big is your vacuum chamber, Bio?
It would be about 5 quarts, and then it's clear on top. So it's not a acrylic cube chamber. That'd be cool, but those are like $1,500. But there is one that's like a crock pot kind of setup. And then I read the reviews. Most of the reviews do say that it holds a pretty good vacuum for about 24 hours. So that'd be the biggest hurdle, is just holding a pressure for a long time.
I found a 30-inch Bell vacuum jar for $165. Glass, all glass. But it weighed like 300 pounds or something like that. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, then I was afraid, you have something that big and it's used. When is that thing going to explode on me or implode?
Right. The thing that I found, I think it should be viable, and then it also comes with a pump. So the hardest part after getting that would be the torsion balance setup itself, which I don't think would be difficult. I just got to make sure it works.
What's the problem? You've got a paper. Just repeat what's in the paper.
No. That's not required. We can do that given the technology.
You've got the experiment already ready for you.
But the basic request that you have doesn't require that level of sophistication.
Look, just repeat what was in the paper. Vacuum, mass attractive mass, simple stuff.
No, we're not going to spend $30,000.
No, you don't have to be as sophisticated, but you're just going to repeat what's in the paper. Vacuum, mass attractive mass.
Well, that he's going to do.
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
And we're the problem with using a small device like that, and it not being see-through all the way around, is that I won't be able to take accurate measurements. But I could still.
I don't want to hear the excuses. You can tell your friends.
No, there's no excuse. No, there's no excuse. It's what I'm explaining is that I won't be able to take accurate measurements because of how small it is, and that I can't have a laser coming out of it to the side and getting accurate.
This is not for me. You're not doing this to me.
What it will show is the movement of mass attracting mass, and that's all that's required.
But you're not telling me, are you? You're saying to your friends here, this is what could happen. Because all I want is the results. Yeah.
Comment.
Well, I'm just saying, he's not saying it to me specifically. He's like, hey, Moyak, this is what could happen.
Right. What's wrong with his experiments?
Again, there's nothing wrong. All we want to see. All we want to see is the observed phenomenon, effects, cause, results, bang, bida boom,
You
bida bang.
see, but how are we going to do that?
Bida boom, bida bang. And
Is
he's going to show.
is his test sufficient to do that? He's going to put masses and how are you going to move the masses in the vacuum chamber?
Look, we've got the paper. He has to replicate that.
I've got bowling balls. I assume the bowling balls will be fine, but if not, I've got some heavy shit at work that I could use as well. But bowling balls should be totally sufficient.
Hey, Baldo, what would you do?
Yeah, bowling balls typically work.
Hey, Baldo, what would
But
you
you're going to have a radius of like 12 to 14 inches for that. That's pretty long.
It'll be pretty close. It'll be as close as I can make it, without interfering with the box or the container.
Yo, how big is this vacuum going to be?
Experiment. What you could do is like that the 1960s video that was posted. That seems like the easiest one to do.
Ben's got a question for you, Bio.
Inside of a Lexon container, and then you could like move your masses right next to it like they did.
Right. I don't think it's as visually. I don't think it's visually appealing though.
Has Moya got percent turned down or something?
How big is this vacuum chamber going to be?
It's the volume is about 5 quarts. It's going to be similar to like a slow cooker, that kind of size, or crock pot.
So small.
Hey, Baldo, I don't think it's going to be worth doing the experiment because you could do
I
a
don't
vacuum
think it's
chamber.
worth it either. He's not going to get the results.
I was
he
talking.
needs.
I was talking.
Sorry.
I think they're going to claim it's going to be ether that's going to be moving it, possibly, most likely.
No, and that's fine. I've already come up
No,
with
no, Paya, we can't do that. Sorry, Boy. Let me just clear up. We can't say ether. Let me explain.
Keep doing it. We should keep doing it because they can only move the goalpost so far.
No.
And every time you eliminate one goalpost, you're getting closer to the end of where they can wriggle out.
No,
so
well, I've explained this to you already, Boy, haven't I? I said this to you already. We've given you if we make up ether, that's not science because we don't observe ether, we can't manipulate ether, and if we say that's the cause, then I'd have to show that ether is the cause, and we don't see that. So we do
show that air is the cause.
We do see atmosphere and air movement. So you remove that, and that would be the cause. And if you still get the effect, then what else can it be, right?
Well, if you want to go down this road, you don't need to remove the air. What you would need to account for is a deviation of pressures. If you don't have any change in pressure inside some type of chamber, even if it's not a vacuum chamber, as long as you don't have deviation of air pressure, then the air won't be the cause of anything. It's only when you have a deviation.
See, what you don't get about science, you cannot change the goalposts like that. Because then it becomes...
Well, you guys do it every day.
No.
You did it with introducing.
No. This cannot happen. You cannot just... Like with Anthony's test, okay? When he manipulated the density, and then you guys say, well, what about this? What about that? It could be this, an unknown variable. Well, that's not our problem. That's you saying there's an unknown variable. You've got to figure out what that variable is, manipulate it, and get the effect. So that's the beauty of this method, is that you can't change the goalposts. If you predict the cause, you must manipulate it.
I've got something to show you, Kimo.
Yeah, I'll be looking now, yeah. I'll be looking now at your screen capture.
I'll be looking now.
I'll be looking now. Yeah.
Right,
is that how you say it? I don't know.
Check this out, mate.
Okay, go on.
It's the grid lines.
The grid lines, yes.
Yeah, you see how they're different?
That's distorted, Kosher, that is.
No. Actually, this is how the grid lines...
Look at those bendy lines. Whenever
again?
do we see those bendy lines in reality?
Where do we see those bendy lines?
Yeah.
Why would you see them?
Look at them; they're all bending, like getting closer towards one another. That would never happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look, let's say for example, we made 2 train tracks going straight up America. They wouldn't bend towards one another, would they? Like this?
They would.
What? You're saying that if we put train tracks on those lines, they would start to get closer and closer together?
Well, but even on a flat Earth, Kimo, if you were to go and drive straight north from 2 positions in America, you'll both arrive at the same spot, or you'll get closer to
Well, not if you start them out parallel, like right here, if you start these lines out, let's say they begin perpendicular to the equator, at the equator. So technically, they begin parallel, but They don't stay parallel for even a fraction
But
of
on
a
a
second.
flat
They
Earth,
start
Kosh,
getting
they
closer and closer.
would. They would never ever get closer and closer
I agree.
together.
On a flat Earth, they would not get closer. You're right.
But on this, we could never show, like, we'd have to bend the tracks towards one another to show what you're showing.
To show that this is true, Kimo, all you have to do is take two places, like say where me and Chris Lale have the same latitude line, about 30 degrees north.
Yeah.
And you take the time it takes for the sun to be my subsolar noon and his subsolar noon, or his local solar noon and my local solar noon. Okay. And then you can take any other position, like say somewhere where it's like where you are, maybe like where it's like 50 degrees north, and somewhere else it's 50 degrees north, and you see how long it takes for the sun to travel that same amount of longitude lines. So I think between me and Chris Lale, it's about 30 degrees of the longitude. So you see how fast the sun moves in 30 degrees farther north. It actually moves much faster. It moves over less distance.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the terrain, Kosho? These lines are not what we see in reality, right?
What?
These curving lines are not what we see. Like, if we were to build along those lines all the way to the North Pole, that wouldn't happen. We would have a straight grid.
On the flat Earth, that happens.
You can define these lines. Like I said, like look at where I am right here. Pretend that I'm at where this dot is, and somebody else is over here, 30 degrees west. You can measure this distance. I can measure it right now, actually, and we'll find out.
It's going to be the same on a flat map, Kosho.
No, check this out, though, Kimo. This is where it gets interesting. In Canada, up here somewhere, same 30 degrees. It's only about 700 miles. So where it was 900 miles further south, it's 700 miles further north. That's how the longitude lines behave.
Funny enough, it takes the sun a certain amount of time to cross that distance. 30 degrees, that'd be about 2 hours, wouldn't it?
I mean, Kosho, again, I get this is the geometry, this is the, the model, as it were, but we don't actually live on this model here that you're subscribing. Go back to the flat map with the 4 corners, yes, put your grid on there, and you'll see it works perfectly fine. The distances from one place to another, size of Australia, works perfectly. All you're trying to figure out is how the sun works, right, with the magnification and the speed.
Oh,
the height.
I don't care about how the sun works, Kimo. I don't know why you're pretending like you forget, but when we looked at the flat map, it was distorted. The same distance in one place was like 5 times longer in the other place.
This to me is distorted, because when I look at this now and I think if an engineer were to build on this now, he would have to build the lines coming towards one another, and that, he says, never would happen.
What's the problem with that, actually?
That doesn't happen in reality. There's straight, square grids.
Do they build any railroads straight north?
Well, they build. If they were to build them right next to each other along those white lines, they would be straight.
It wouldn't build them both and directly northward either, then, Kimo. But
what example do you have of this, Kimo?
Because look, what I'm doing now, we're arguing the model. The model, your guys' model.
Yeah, Kimo, the longitude latitude lines that you have, the ones that go through Greenwich.
You want to argue the model?
No, fuck no.
The model here. Look at Kosho's screen. They're arguing the model with the lines and this stuff here. Check it out.
That's a smart move, percentage. Smart move.
Do you disagree
I'm done with these
those positions are the positions that they claim? Like your longitude latitude is going to be somewhere in this block.
Fuck no.
And it's not going to be
I'm
different.
not even arguing with this about the model. It's the model. In reality,
the model.
Just the model. In reality, Kosho,
they're modeling the waters.
Yeah, it's just a model. This is the heliocentric model, Kosho.
No,
Right?
actually, this matches reality. Distances in here are accurate, and every location maps to a real location in the real world.
And we've already demonstrated that, Kimo, that the other map is distorted. I've showed you clearly.
But this is distortion, Kosho. Look at those lines coming towards one another.
It's Oh, I get it. It's distortion because all the numbers work on it. I get it. Okay, cool.
Kimo, the last thing I'm going to say about this is look at France right here. Okay, you claim this is distorted, right? You're claiming this is distorted.
Yes.
This position on this corner, this position on this corner, this corner, and this corner. They have unique coordinates. Okay, they're not fake coordinates in here. They're going to be the same coordinates that somebody who lives here, it says for them. This distance here to this distance here, and this distance here to this distance here are going to be accurate on this map. As in, this is going to be shorter than this. And you can verify this in reality. Because somebody would just dispute, hey, no, that distance is actually the same distance as this one. Okay? You can check and verify these things. And nobody has any...
no one's arguing this, though. No one's arguing about any of this. This is the model.
Hey, you argue with everything that's just been said.
No, I understand this is the model. I'm not arguing against the model. Talking about if you go to the flat map, the map works in terms of distances. If you want to go from here to here, you can use that flat map and you will get there.
Not a large flat map.
And also, it will tell you on this is why this is distorted, because it tells you there's land closure after America and Hawaii and all that stuff, and Japan.
What evidence do you have that that's not true?
What do you mean? Why?
Already, you can see on this map, this 50 miles down here at the bottom of France, and at the top of France is a different distance, showing exactly what I just claimed. That this flat map...
Is this the ball, is it? Zoom out a second. Like, go out, zoom out. Is this the ball, yeah?
No, it's not a ball.
Yeah, make it the ball. If this isn't this the ball? Is this the flat map, yeah?
Yeah, it's flat. Now it's the ball.
Right, so zoom out now. This is why the globe is distorted, because from America, go around to America, west of America.
Look at the key. Look at the key at the bottom of the map.
It doesn't matter about all that, Kosho. This is why it's distorted. Go to America. Now, west of America, when you go that way more west, what they're shown on here is not in reality. That's not what happens. If you were to continue west, you would reach an ice wall. That's why there's a distortion in this globe.
Whoa, hold on. I've never heard you make this claim. Are you saying in reality, if you only travel west from California, you're gonna hit an ice wall?
Well, you'd be then going south then, right?
Oh, I've come around from that way, man.
Yeah, I have too. So what I'm saying is, Kimo, if we're in a plane, just me and you, we know how to fly, and the equipment is 100% working.
And there's only one parachute.
We take off from California. We take off from There's 17 parachutes, just in case.
No, only
we
one
travel,
parachute.
Where we get in a plane. We're in California. We're in California, and we take off.
Fucking hell, man.
And we only go west. We have a compass. We have whatever device you'd like. We're only facing west. You're saying we're going to hit an ice wall?
Kosho, let's have a look. Kosho, go to America. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Kosho's screen.
No, I want to know what your claim is.
Well, let's have a look. Go west of America, Kosho. Go west. Like that, yeah. Go right. No, to the other way.
No, that is west down, because he's oriented that way.
No,
Mexico's
Kosho,
to the right.
Why do you have to do it like that? Do it the normal way.
They're both equally normal, but I'm fixing the map. Hold on.
Goodness. So difficult.
He also discovered using the ISS that the ice wall is about 1,000 miles off the west coast of the U.S.
No, probably a bit more.
Between
probably
the
a bit
US
more.
and Hawaii. He
maybe
discovered
a bit more.
this,
Maybe a bit
as
more.
I
Maybe a
said,
bit more.
using the ISS. This should tell
What
you
is wrong with
something
Kosho here?
about how seriously to take what he's saying.
Kosho, just do it normally.
We can debunk what he's
like
saying.
This. Now, yes, look.
Don't get too wrapped
so
up.
anything west here, Kosho, is not.
Over talking,
What?
man.
What?
Yeah, go west, Kosha.
Yeah, so go around. So as all this now, all of this is not true. So there's no this here. You cannot go all the way around and then go around to the other side like this. So this is obvious
Even
distortion.
though I've done it, and even though
What?
World War II was fought over here in this fucking area.
Oh my gosh. Kosha,
So are you saying Hawaii doesn't exist?
No, I'm not saying Hawaii doesn't. I'm saying you cannot go around like that in that fashion because you would head towards an ice wall.
No, you would head towards Japan and Asia.
No, prove it.
I've taken the flight myself.
Yeah, prove it.
Well, I mean, I can't go back in time and get my itinerary and have a live stream of it. I can't do that.
No, you can't.
But I can tell you personal experience. I've flown that.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think you're being purposely ridiculous.
Well, Kosho, you can't.
Oh, you think? Do you think that, Kosho? Did you catch on to that at some point?
I'd punch you in the stomach right now if I fucking.
Well, Kosho, I know it
No, you
upsets you guys, but again, this is part of the distortion here because anything beyond America, Hawaii, whatever you want to call it, west, if there's no more land, you cannot go back around to Japan and places like that. No opportunity.
You know, this is a pretty extreme claim, Kimo, because even flat earthers, even with a typical rough flat earth map kind of depiction, despite going west, you're still going in a
you go out. That's what I'm thinking. So you go around.
But you're still traveling west the entire time. So if you're in Japan, you go west on a flat earth map. You're going clockwise on that map, but you're still going west, never approaching an ice wall. So what you're saying is pretty fucking extreme, even for flat earthers.
Yeah, so that's why it's distorted, because the way that you look at the world, like you just said, you would go west and go around the plate. But here, they've got the land missing. They've got the wall missing and the land beyond. That's where
So are you saying that there's a wall between Japan and America? I'm trying to narrow down what exactly you're saying.
not between them, on the outskirts of them.
So you're saying east of Asia, there's also an ice wall?
No, it's more south. Yeah, you would be heading south.
Okay, so if you're in Japan and you go east, where do you go?
Go east again. You'd probably be going around the plate.
You go a little bit south. You go a little bit south.
If you're in Japan and you head east, you will go north. So
Kimo, as usual, does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right, he's going in circles, ironically.
Really?
No. I'm saying that this map here is distorted.
Yeah. Kimo, before I just go somewhere else, I just want to let you know I'm going to genuinely put out an olive branch and whack you with it. No, I'm going to genuinely tell you that I will help you develop this unique flat Earth model because it's very different.
God, why?
Very different than all the.
Kosho, what are you talking about? Why do you say things like this? It's just.
That'd be interesting, Kosho. That sounds good.
With flat Earth.
Definitely.
It's very different than all the other.
It's a fucking wind up.
Absolutely.
It's not wind up.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, people right now is trying to understand what your map looks like. I don't understand what your map
Anything you say is going to just say, yeah, that, but not really that. A bit like that, but yeah, not that.
No, that's why I was asking.
Basically, what it's
We're making a conversation out of it, aren't we? We're not just hand wave dismissing, are we?
Oh, fucking whoopie do. Great. What a conversation.
After Kosho does this, I'm going to go ahead and construct a scale model of the Earth in a lab that will simulate everything about the globe, specifically for Denmark.
Really big lab.
Is it a 1-to-1 scale model?
So look, models and
gravity.
Every map
full gravity of the entire Earth in my model in the lab. Yes, sir.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of collaboration I'm talking about.
And a cube. There will be a fucking cube.
Kimo, do you have any type of depiction of all the countries in one picture that you would subscribe to as far as that might be reality? Do you have anything? Because I'm trying to picture it in my mind, and the way you're explaining it is inconsistent. So I'm trying to determine how you came to this conclusion, because you must have seen something or have information that I don't have to make these claims.
What about the ice wall?
An ice wall being west of America, and the inability to travel east from Asia. Because you didn't say there was an ice wall east of Asia, but you said you would just go around in a plane, but that's inconsistent. So I'm trying to get information that you have that I don't.
Well, by the way, Kimo,
Well,
I have on my screen all these
because
different maps.
because it's 4 corners and you're thinking of a circle, so you're thinking that you would just go around. Show us 4 corners, Kosho. Like so, yeah. Stop it moving.
Show us 4 corners of the fucking earth.
You've got to go with what God says, because God is always right, but we've got to show that He's not by showing
There
us
you
4.
go, the QE method.
Oh, so it's that. So really, when you go west of Africa, it's an ice wall, and east of America.
No. These ain't the right positions of the country. This is not right at all now. Got to put them in the right places, Kosho, somehow, some way.
There is no scientific evidence either way.
Yeah,
we
that
go
looks
with the
right. So yeah, so obviously
which is
that looks
the
about right.
Bible
No, hold it
says
like
the
this.
earth is
Hold it like
flat.
that,
That is-
Kosho. Hold it like that. So
that
look,
is
when you
QE.
go,
that is QE.
so if you got your compass now, Kosho, where's the North Pole? Where do you think it's gonna go?
You can't use the compass.
That's what I'm saying. This is distorted. We don't know.
It's highly distorted. The North Pole would essentially be the entire
Yes, but we
top line
don't
there
know
because
where
of
the
level of
countries
distortion.
actually are, do we? That's the problem.
We know the orientation.
Don't even know where the countries are.
No,
we know
don't.
the orientation of the
They're
countries.
hiding
So
there.
I'm-
You can't
My
prove
compass,
that.
you would kill
Prove it.
yourself.
Nobody can sail to these countries. You can't get a personal sailboat and sail across the Atlantic. Oh,
Prove that. Prove that. Get a
No,
sailboat
because
and
before
go,
Flat
man,
Earth, nobody was really
document
trying
it.
to
I don't
find
believe
out.
you.
But
the
ever
biggest
since
issue I
Flat
have-
Earth, people have been trying to find out, so they put this stuff, this pandemic thing, that we can't find out for sure. See?
Okay, anyways, so the biggest issue that I have with
Mm-hmm.
that claim of an ice wall west of America, so Alaska and Russia, the Bering Strait doesn't exist at all, or what's your claim to that particular area?
Look, nothing is where you think it is. That's how you should go about it.
Are we going to complain again, Chris?
You should go about it like nobody knows exactly
you
where
were.
every country is positioned and located. That's how you should think.
I know where most. I
No,
could
you
probably
don't.
fill out a map
No,
pretty well.
you have no idea.
Well, that's your claim. I'm actually pretty good with geography. But again,
Oh,
so you're
geography,
saying
yeah, that's
west
what
of
they told
America,
us.
west of America is an ice wall. So you're saying that Alaska and
Yeah,
Russia
Kosho,
aren't
go to the
close
4 corners.
together,
You're looking at
and there's
Kosho's
no
screen.
Bering Strait?
Are you looking at Kosho's screen?
No, of course I am.
Yeah, Kosho, do the 4 corners again. Look.
So you want him to manipulate the map in such a way that confirms to what you're saying, despite this not being real evidence of anything, except
So
for
look,
you
is
can
that
distort
the
a
only
map
4
however you
corners?
like.
So look, we've got to put it where America's towards the edge. So again, if you've got east and west, left and right, north and south, up and down.
Oh, you're holding in a laugh.
What? No, I nearly burped.
You're holding in a laugh.
I nearly burped. Sorry. But again, because we don't know where the actual country is, the outline, we can't. We can only speculate at this point. That's the reality.
What
of
do
it all.
you What do you mean? Are you saying that some
You're
of these countries
asking
don't
me to
exist,
build a model
possibly?
with you right now, and I'm like, well, how can we? We cannot travel around or explore to build this model.
No, I've traveled. I know that
No,
Kosho's traveled.
not
Whatever
while-
traveling that you've done, you can input that information.
But
We
don't
can
you
build
find it
something
odd?
from personal experience pretty well?
Don't you find it odd that you've just come into Flat Earth? Now you want to be able to prove it, like go around the world, do the things that you need to do, and you can't. You're restricted. Isn't that odd for you?
How do I know that I'm restricted? I haven't made the attempt yet.
No, but
Have
I'm
you made
saying-
the attempt and been denied?
No, but you're like, you've just come into this. You're like, well, I'm going to show these guys like you're trying to do right now, but you
No,
can't.
stop obfuscating. Stop obfuscating. You said we can't do it. Have you attempted to travel and been denied?
Yes. So a couple of years ago, Bio, there was a
So
flight.
before the pandemic. So why are you bringing up the pandemic as a
Try
reason
to
why we
listen
can't
then.
travel?
Try to stop just wombling and waffling. Try to listen to what I'm saying. So several
I'm
years ago,
I'm turning your words against you, Kimo.
oh
but
my
go ahead.
gosh. So a couple years ago, several years back now, there was before you were even on the scene, before you even knew what Flat Earth was all about, right? We set up, not me specifically, but a glober in the community set up a flight from north to south, yes. So we can get.
I already know what you're going to say,
He's
and
going
it's
to
been
get a charter
refuted
flight.
as a scam.
Going to get a
Go
charter
ahead.
flight, and we're all going to get on it. We're all going to check out if we can go around the board. Next thing you know, bang, pulled it, lost money, no chance, no hope. So they pulled
And
the
what
plug
was
on
the
that.
reason
Yeah.
for that? Was it a scam? Was he scammed and was he tricked?
But the idea is listen to what's being said.
So
Don't use your own words. Okay. Listen to what's being said. There was an opportunity for us to go. The plug was pulled for whatever reason. The plug
the reason's
was
important.
whatever reason. The plug
the reason
was
is important.
pulled.
Don't obfuscate and don't change.
Doesn't matter about the reason. We thought, like you just now, that we could go on a flight, and it didn't happen. Whether it was a fake flight, a prank flight, a real scam, whatever you want to call it. The idea was to go from north to south. We were excited, thinking it was going to happen. It didn't happen. The plug was pulled, and since then, it's never been attempted. And before that, it was never been attempted. And right now, you cannot show that because you are now quarantined.
No.
Legit. I mean, to be real, it was kind of weird that was ended up being a scam.
Whatever the reason, I'm not bothered. The idea was that it was put in our minds that we can go from north to south on this charter flight, and it's an easy thing to do, and they stopped it for whatever reason.
Yeah, the reason is important. Would you not agree?
No. Because,
well then your ignorance doesn't mean anything.
Because you could set one up next week. What happened to next week or the week after or next year, the year after? There was no excuse. If it was a possibility, you could set it up. They would say, okay, that was a scam, that was a prank, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do it properly this time.
Stop rambling. Give your answers. Say what you got to say.
I'm going to finish up
rambling.
now.
You go on forever.
All right, I'm going to finish
got a real question.
Whatever your excuse is, you could say scam, prank, theft, whatever. You could say, fine. We're now going to set up the real one for next month, next week, next year. That didn't happen because it's not possible.
It's because you didn't set it up.
Now, how about the routes of the one that you were excited about, the scam? They had a published flight route. How does that differ significantly from what One More Orbit did?
Again, I'm not interested in any excuse. If one flight fails, you go on another flight.
This was a question. How do the two flight routes differ? One you were excited about, the other you deny.
Because we would have went on that flight.
You what?
We would have went on that charter flight around the world to prove it's a ball. But we couldn't. We were denied because it's not a ball.
Okay, well, but the other flight, One More Orbit, did do this, and I'm pretty sure they were pretty similar.
Was that offered to flat earthers? When was that? I don't hear about that. Where was that?
No, nobody offers anything to flat earthers.
No, this was put out by a Globac, one of your guys, one of yous. Like Bio saying, we're going on a charter flight. Let's all go.
Tickets on the scam flight, Kimo.
And then we give Bio the money, and he turns around and says, oh, wow, sorry.
Bought tickets?
Sorry, guys, I have got to cancel. So we'd be like, okay, fine, let's go to the next one. Let's go.
Kimo, the flight was there that you say you're excited about that you would have gone on, yet none of you bought tickets for it.
Where's the flight? Show it. Stop talking.
The one that was canceled. None of you bought tickets, but you said you would have gone
on it. You got $20,000. What are you talking about? What are you on about?
You said you would. No. You said you would have gone on that one.
Yeah, so we would have all set, but we realised it was a scam. Yeah.
So what's your excuse?
Right. Well, who bought tickets?
Or nobody ever bought a ticket to begin with.
They gave him $20,000.
It's too easy.
To Greater Sapien.
Yeah, one of your ballers, one of you guys.
Who's not
expecting someone else to spend twice the money to not do something than him spend nothing and then ridicule it later.
So the idea was, if that's cancelled, you go next month. You go the month after, 6 months later, a year later, whatever it is. You don't say, oh well, that's the end of the mission. That's it now. We're never going to try ever again. And that's what's happened.
Have you ever tried, Kimo?
What do you mean? We've tried. We got scammed.
No. Okay. I thought the reason doesn't matter. So why
we
haven't
were
you
part
tried?
of that.
Why
This
didn't
was
you try
this was
afterwards?
one of us. This was the community. This was a big deal.
No, why didn't you try afterwards? You just said you got scammed. The reason doesn't matter from your own words. So why didn't you try after that?
Because it's not possible.
No. You got to keep trying, right?
Keep trying, yeah. To get what? To get scammed every year.
I don't know. You're the one that says. Why don't
Well,
you try
you
the
can
next
get scammed every year if you want, but we're not that stupid as what
You're
you think.
complaining about someone else not trying multiple times, and when I ask you how many times did you try, you're saying I'm not going to try multiple times and get scammed multiple times. So which is it? Should someone get scammed multiple times in the attempt, or should they make no attempt at all?
We've made an attempt and we got scammed.
Right, so try again a month later.
And get scammed.
But you didn't, Kimo.
No,
flat earther, like Cubs pointed out, and like you said, we would have went on that flight, but none of you bought a fucking ticket. None of you.
Yeah. There was a community. There was a kitty ready to.
I'm well aware of the Greater Sapien GoFundMe. He's not a fucking flat earther.
No, he's a globe earther. That was the point. He's a globe earther.
Right,
one of yours, one of your guys.
Was that you said we as flat earthers would have been on that flight, and now he's trying to deny that's what you were saying.
We would have been on that flight, yeah, for sure. We were talking about it, right? We were talking about what we can take.
Fucking ticket.
What do you mean we didn't buy a ticket? Because you couldn't go.
But the tickets were still available, Kimo. No one knew that it was a fucking scam until like very fucking late on.
No. We were telling you guys it's a scam, it's not possible. And then once we were waiting for you guys to actually get it into action, like at the airport, ready to go, then we would have been on.
So you'd have waited for the flight to take off before you got a ticket.
No.
I mean, isn't there flights from the south of Australia to the southern tip of South America every single day?
Yeah, there is.
And I mean, you just fly direct south, right?
No.
Well, that'd be a perfect one to do just for the
But then I guess
that
on
they
a
have
globe,
for a
you go
flat earth.
south, then go north, right?
You'd follow a great circle. Probably a little south and then north, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can measure the flight time that it takes as well, and you can measure it against hypothetical flat, hypothetical sphere Earth.
So that's supposed to be the furthest flight, right?
No.
No, what's the furthest flight? I thought it was the tip of Australia.
I don't recall. I just saw it posted in chat a couple days ago. There is at least one flight longer, if not others.
I'm just thinking of a flat Earth map. I mean, I know there's really not a flat Earth map, but the ones that we see, the furthest distance would be.
Why do you think that is, by the way?
I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe I think it's South America.
There's one that goes somewhere in Asia, I think, across to New York. It's like about 14,000 plus miles because they go the wrong way.
That's a funny way to put it. They probably have so many few flights in the southern hemisphere because of population, and then like the amount of money that's in southern hemisphere.
I was kidding, Mr. Reality, about the 14,000 miles, dude.
Going the wrong way.
I had to make that clear to you because you might think I'm serious.
No, I thought you were joking till somebody else spoke up and said.
Okay. Yeah, I was joking.
Okay.
About the distance. I'm not joking that there are longer flights than Sydney or New Zealand to Santiago, though. There are longer flights.
Yeah, there's longer
not the longest flight. Look it up. Just Google it real quick. You'll see. I'm telling the truth.
That's just an interesting flight because of the implications on the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, that's why I'm pointing it out because I'm thinking, fly south from Australia, the tip, and then you should start flipping north.
Once you pass the South Pole, sure, but no one's going to make this flight because it's pointlessly dangerous.
Like you're going over Antarctica or something, or what?
Yes.
Eastern Australia to Santiago does not cross the pole.
No. Yeah, but he's talking about going that way though.
I think if you have the money, you could.
Why would you? It's a long.
You could hire people. You could hire people to do it, but that's money and extra shit.
Yeah, daredevils and people like that, but people who.
If you fly from Buenos Aires to Perth, that goes almost directly over the South Pole, I believe. If anybody were to fly that, that is a great circle route.
Right. But the same reason why in America we built the interstate system to make sure that there was places that planes could land in case of emergency and shit like that. There's not even anything close to that in Antarctica. There's just high mountains and snow.
Yeah, but don't people fly over the Pacific all the way across to that?
Yeah, but there's places where you can land. You can land in the water.
Is someone cutting trees?
But yeah, my bad. They are.
Hey, Wama, you're here. What's going down? What's going on? Mic working.
So, Wimmer, long time no see.
Yeah, it has been a while. Where you been, Wimmer?
Or are you just listening? Probably just listening. just listening to the annihilation of the globe model and the idea, right? It can be a good listen if you've got the right flat earther. Like Witsit is good, and is good. Oh, he's got no mic. Yeah. Rakia is good. Good listen.
Could you imagine if Kimo went fishing?
Kimo did what?
If Kimo went fishing,
I
oh my
thought
God,
that Viking.
every weekend he caught a fish bigger than his fucking boat.
He'll catch a shark. Off the side of his leg.
He'd be the worst one to go fishing with. Shut the fuck up.
Why is Rakia a good flat earther, Kimo?
He's got some very interesting, because like every flat earther has like has it, how do you say, like a forte, or they have something that they
I'm well aware.
focus on or something, you know how to say.
Right. I know what you mean.
You know, so he's good with the surveying stuff, the measuring stuff. You know, the theological stuff.
Understanding.
Rakia's pretty good about handling his emotions without blowing up.
Yeah, that's right. That's another good attribute he's got.
I mean, I think
tell us about some of his surveying, whatever the fuck arguments.
I think like and this could just be for anyone now. Is just because you shout because you feel people are not listening and you want to be heard.
Right, but that's the thing, Kimo. I want you to demonstrate you've been listening to Rakia's amazing fucking arguments and tell us what he actually says.
The drop from horizontal, you know, establishing the horizontal.
Right, but what about it?
What this demonstrates.
Doesn't he just ask for that? That's not really his argument.
Well, I mean, again, they're all part of the team. Well, they work with Bev and all that.
Fucking no! You said everyone's got their forte, so tell us his forte.
I just told you, haven't I? The horizontal, the drop.
He's dropped from horizontal.
Drop from horizontal.
I want to make this point very clear. Rakia has admitted twice that his method of trying to do that does not differentiate between a globe and a flat Earth. Remember that.
I'm just saying.
He's a man of reason. He doesn't do things just to waste time, man. He wants to make sure that the method he uses would not make a distinction between either model.
I'm just saying.
Spakia.
Y'all wanted to ask me something?
Oh, he's here.
Have lied about me?
Hey, Rakia, what's going on? I didn't even know Rakia was here. I didn't look at the list.
Spakia, unfortunately, you're here to save Kimo.
No, I didn't even know Rakia was here. I didn't even look down the list. I was just saying we're going for the flat earthers.
Spakia's here now.
I just got here like 2 seconds
so
ago.
he's... Okay, so what's Witsit's forte, Kimo?
Witsit, he's pretty good all around. So he knows the history on it. He knows the current
Give
science.
Give us an example.
Oh, I don't want to get into that. They're just.
Well, I do.
Good listens. Anyway, look, Rakia's here now.
Well, I do, Kimo.
Why don't you name Chris's good qualities, Kimo?
Chris is just tired of trolling now.
I don't have any good qualities. What do you mean?
We're working with Chris very hard to get him back to be a normal human person, back to society.
That's right. We're working very, very hard.
Working very hard.
So, Kimo, what's right, so you said Witsit, Spakia, who else? You said the third name.
When Brandon gets going, but he doesn't do it for long enough. That's
no.
Brandon.
Who was the other cunt you said?
Who did I say?
That was it, right, Kimo? That was the only other person.
Was it Spakia and Witsit? That's it.
No, I said 3, didn't I? I can't remember what I said.
I thought.
It's not that important, not that big of a deal.
But
they're
Kimo,
good.
because
it's always a
fuck him. He's not that important. Fuck that cunt.
Kimo, because you brought up Witsit, I have to ask you.
I said percent, Witsit, and Rakia.
I'm sorry, I was talking while you were interrupting. That's my fault.
Percent, Witsit, Rakia.
I know, it's my fault.
Go on.
So, Kimo, if you asked me for evidence for something, and I gave you a simulation, would you accept that as evidence?
A simulation
of reality, of course. Yeah.
I was actually going to say something to you earlier about that, man. Because there's plenty of times where Globers get hate from flat earthers for depending on what the observation is. I'm not saying it was relevant last night because I wasn't here, but sometimes it is relevant to display a simulation. But
are you saying
like I
a
said, I
simulation
don't know
of
if that's
something that
true
hasn't been
context.
tested already?
No, so what I'm saying, and I'll be specific. If you asked for evidence of reality, either a cause or effect or measurement of reality, would you accept a simulation?
Without being tested in reality first?
Right, there's like no testing or anything. It's just your request for evidence of
Oh
reality
yeah,
for a
yeah,
particular thing, and I give you a
of course not.
simulation.
No,
Would
of
you accept that?
course not. No.
Okay, so on that point, when Witsit and Nathan came in earlier this morning for me, I asked for evidence for a particular thing, and he provided, Witsit only provided a simulation, and that was it. Would you accept Witsit's evidence for that?
No.
Right, I agree.
What's the problem?
Just making sure.
But there's no, but obviously there's probably an experiment now, or are you saying it's just?
No, it's literally. I can actually find it and show you. It's just simulation with the most desired variables.
No, I don't need to see the simulation. I'm just saying.
But no measurements of reality, none.
Like for example, we have a gas pressure simulation, yeah, of what would happen to the gas, but we already have an experiment to show that simulation, right? So that's that would be like, this is how the gas fills the space. But in terms of just someone with an idea and then saying this is how it works on the computer, going to be hard pressed, right? Going to be hard pressed.
In context, this is what he provided, and I had downloaded it. He had claimed that the dielectric surface of the Earth, of the plane Earth, causes objects to find equilibrium in a downward fashion, essentially replacing what we claim to be gravity. And I asked for evidence for about 30 minutes, and he finally provided this, which is a simulation. So would you accept that as evidence?
We've just been through that. Is it scientific method? No. So then of course not.
Right. So I think that should lower the peg of.
But Witsit knows this as well. So I mean, again, Witsit, like, you know, it's not. So he wants to go beyond. So now what it is with a lot of flat earthers, how can I say this? So we know it's flat. So now we're trying to figure out what's next, what's going on. So for him to do simulations like that is not such a bad thing. I mean, it doesn't prove anything, but it just presents an idea of how something may or may not work, you see.
Gingers, do they have souls? Yes or no?
So, you know, like I say, it's just moving forward to the next step. So just keep asking the question about, to Globers, where's the proof? Where's the proof? You know, we don't have to keep asking you. We can try and figure out what's going on beyond what we were told. So that's why I wouldn't say it's such a bad thing that he's doing, because it's just like what Lemon does. Lemon tries to figure out what's the next step. That's what it is. It's not that big of a deal. People do it. Arwin does it. You know.
The specific issue that I saw is that I asked for evidence and he provided a simulation, and that's the only thing he provided.
Well, that's it.
So
like I just said, yeah. Like I just said, the people are just trying to speculate now. We know it's flat, and this is how it may or may not work. I mean,
how do you know it's flat if you don't know how it works?
You guys know the rules. We all know the rules. If you're not able to manipulate stuff, it stays in the realms of hypothesis. Very simple.
It's so weird. It's so weird that you're still figuring out how it works, and then in that process, you're finding out it doesn't work. And like earlier, we showed you the maps and how they're distorted when they're flat, but you ignored it. And ignoring it is really the only thing you can possibly do to sustain that delusion, the belief, because there's no evidence for a flat Earth. You just said we know it's flat. Now we just want to figure out how it works. You don't know how it works. You find out it doesn't work, but you believe it. There's no reason to believe it. Doesn't make any sense.
Because this is the point. You see why? Because like with Nathan, it's like make no claims, stick to the point, shut down the globe earthers. But when you're in an environment where you know, well, if he's with flat earthers all day, you're going to have that feeling, well, there's no globe to even think about. We've got to consider what's on a flat earth, how it works. So, you know, people are trying to speculate what's going on, and you know, he has an idea. If he finds a way to test it, then you move forward. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but you've gotten to the conclusion before you've done that.
No,
step
but try to understand.
Move forward,
it's not.
But you already decided the conclusion.
No. Not everyone accepts what Arwin says. Not everyone accepts what Lemon says. Not everyone accepts what Witsit says. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They're licensed to speculate now because to them, they're not asking, are we on a globe? Are we on a flat earth? They're like, we're on a flat earth. We know this. Now, how do these things work?
Not even 2 minutes ago, just now, you just said, we know we're on a flat earth.
No, I'm saying from the perspective, I'm saying from the perspective of someone who thinks like that. That says, well, we know we're on a flat earth now. I'm not debating it. So now, instead of me thinking a globe is going to give me evidence, I'm going to move forward with the knowledge that we're on a flat earth and how it works. Now, they're not going to get everything right, are they? That's normal. You know, that's how you find things out. You test things, you experiment, and you come up with results. So again, it doesn't matter who you are. People are trying to... Because look, Arwen's tired of just asking Globers. He wants to know more. Lemon is tired. He wants to know more. Witsit's tired. He wants to know more. A lot of the flat earthers are tired of asking the ball earthers for evidence now. They want more evidence for their own reality, their own ball, their own...
traveling around the country asking... He's not tired of it, man. What are you talking about?
No, well, I'm just saying that they're spreading the word as well as, you know, coming up with ideas about what is and what isn't. It's
you're making Arwen cry, man.
Well, I'm just saying that you don't see Witsit arguing with the flat the ball earthers. So he's going out there to spread the good news.
Kimo, okay? what's Arwen's forte?
What?
What's Arwen's forte?
What do you mean?
He's forte. You said that all flat earthers have.
Yeah, he's good on all kinds of science.
Like what?
I've just told you.
But you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I just did.
Look, this is easy, Kimo. Arwen's extremely charismatic.
That's why, anyway, so let's not debate too much.
He is inciting riots amongst the peasants.
But again, for me, like I said, Nathan wouldn't like any of this kind of stuff, right? But I don't mind it. I don't think most flat earthers mind it because we're not trying to hold your toes to the fire as aggressive. You know, we're like, give us the evidence. You haven't got it. Okay, fine, we move on. I'm not going to start calling you names. Some of you get the names, but again, if you know you're on a flat earth,
because he doesn't address anything anyone says to him. That's his whole shtick.
Who?
You prick.
What?
I asked you, Kimo. Not what other flat earthers, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm saying you yourself, and you saying other flat earthers. You're already claiming it's flat. You're saying it's flat. You don't know how it works. You claim that as well, right? You're finding out it doesn't work. I've showed you that earlier. You've seen it every day. You're shown this. You have no reason to have come to that conclusion. You have no evidence to have gotten there. There's no reason to be there. But that is the claim that you're starting out with. You're starting out with the conclusion that the Earth is flat and not budging, even though you're finding out that it's not possibly flat.
No, we're finding out the model doesn't work on a flat plane. So the model is just like the construct. You're trying to make it work on a flat plane. So you can make a globe model, but we're not on a globe, so that's just the reification, right?
That's kind of weird because the model works on a globe, doesn't work on a flat plane. So you conclude, must be flat. Good thinking, Kimo.
No, but globe model works on a flat plane. You can't model a flat model on a flat plane.
You just got finished saying how you can't make the model work on a flat Earth.
No, you have to make a globe model to make it work on a flat plane.
Oh, were you referencing a flat Earth model? Can't work on flat Earth. You can't
model the flat Earth. That's the point, isn't it? You can't do it. So you
then what model does it work on flat Earth?
I've just said you have to make a globe model.
Well, that's what I said, and you said I was wrong. That's not what you said. Do you even know what the fuck you said?
Kimo, come on, man.
Okay, so we've got a flat Earth. You try to make a flat Earth model, you can't do it. So the only way to model...
triple talking now. He's triple talking.
You just went back and forth. Yeah, but
Okay.
you did just say that, Kimo, and I don't know why. I mean, I do know why you walk away from it, but it doesn't work on a flat plane. It only works if you map it on a globe. Curved is telling you that should tell you something. It does tell me something, but
Yeah, it tells me that we can't model the flat Earth. Yes.
You know, Kosho, I've got a sneaky suspicion that Kimo gets all this.
Yeah, you can't model. I've told you there will never be a flat Earth model. I've told you this from pretty much
not
day
that
one.
part. You know what's up.
Yeah, you can only model it with a globe model. Listen to the words, globe model.
Percentage is a pretty good flat earther too, huh, Kimo?
Dude, they made a great meme for you the other day. I think it was yesterday I noticed it. It was Maury Povich holding the paper, and it says, "The lie detector test has determined Spurs is talking."
Imagine the memes if we saw your face that would be on here. You would be terrified,
You couldn't
right?
handle it. You couldn't handle it, Kimo.
You would
You'd
commit.
burn with lust.
You would cut yourself or something. No.
I don't think your face was on that meme, Kimo.
Well, I'm just
It sounds
saying
like it was
that.
more
True.
I'm just
Good
saying
point.
if Curve was in a meme, he would never be able to handle it.
cut himself. Do you honestly believe what you're saying?
Yeah, Curve is insecure, so he would harm himself if you memed him.
You're thinking. I don't like memes.
If I was in a meme, Stacy and Bambi and Emma and they'd all be throwing 500 at me at a time.
Yeah, that's your dream. You're a dreamer. Daydreamer.
It's not that hard to do that, though.
Sorry about the hot mic.
You might say I'm a dreamer.
I know you're a
I'm
dreamer.
not the only one.
You would love people to see you, but you're worried about the judgment.
People have seen him. He's not like it's that hidden, dude.
Exactly. So you can meme me, or you like, or you want.
My mom got memed
There was
yesterday,
no problems on my side.
That's not your mom, is it?
Huh?
Is that your mom?
Where?
Your mom a model in the 80s?
What are you talking about?
You said your mom got memed.
Your mom's been memed.
I saw a picture of some
Cool.
model from the 80s being memed. It said, "Go to mom." Is that really her?
Well, if it was a model from the 80s, then probably not my mom. She was a kid.
No, she was not just a kid, dude.
Yes, she was. She used to write for Teen Bob.
How old year was she born?
Huh?
The word in the street is your mom.
Again, Mr.
What year was she born?
What is wrong with your microphone, Veach?
Yeah, so in the 80s, she was like 20.
Well, yeah, when at the end of the 80s, maybe.
Got a bad mic, Veach.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Why don't you fix it?
Because I can't do that right now.
Oh my god. You went mad at Denmark earlier on for his mic.
Oh, wait, did Chris post it? I haven't bought it.
I didn't post it, no.
You're stupid.
I mean, I might have reposted it, but I certainly didn't fucking post it.
You posted it, but I didn't post it.
I think that means the same thing.
Wait, but I mean, like, it did come from me, right? Like, what I mean, I was just, I'll post it. I'll repost it.
Let's talking, trust me. Just back away slowly.
Will I repost it?
How did this happen, Veach? The whole NASA fraud, how did it all happen? Come on, give us something.
You guys all fell for some internet liars.
Give us a hint. Give us something, Veach.
There's no lying going on.
You have the inside knowledge. I know you do. I know for a fact you know.
Here we go. You're going to keep over talking every time I try to tell you.
I can barely hear you, Veach. Your microphone's terrible. I can't even hear when you're speaking.
You can actually hear me. Why would you talk over someone you can barely hear?
Yeah, I can hear him. What's the problem? He's a little scratchy. What's the problem?
He sounds perfectly fine. You're just looking for a reason to talk over him.
He sounds perfectly fine. You sound perfectly fine, Veach.
I told you that the secret to the fraud from NASA is as follows. There is no fraud. You're delusional. You and a bunch of internet wackos have gotten yourselves all twisted up in believing nonsense.
That's a lie.
No, it really isn't. That's the truth.
It really is, because I have my brother's father-in-law is like 80. He doesn't even know what YouTube is. He doesn't believe we went to the moon. Is he a wacko?
Oh, that's true.
He's a wacko then.
No, what I'm saying is I'm just disproving what.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh, Rakia?
First of all, I
I'm
wasn't
just
talking,
wondering
I
what your
wasn't
thoughts
talking
on
about,
someone like that.
I wasn't talking about him, was I, Rakia? I was talking to you.
Well-invested,
I was
retired
talking to
gentleman
you.
that is not a
You gonna
conspiracy
overtalk me
theorist.
Speech, you can barely hear you. It's not even funny.
Are you going to overtalk me constantly, Rakia? Let me just finish what I'm saying.
Oh, you were.
I wasn't talking about him, was I? I was talking about Kimo. And Kimo and his group, these online people, that's exactly what I said is true. And by the way, your grandfather probably had someone who did have YouTube get to him.
It's my brother's father-in-law, whatever that makes.
Well, whoever it is. You probably got to him.
I got to him. No, he told me.
He whispered the lies in the middle of the night. Just let him. Like that one guy, what's that guy who did it down the rabbit hole?
How is this allowed, this terrible microphone?
Who completely gaslit that poor old lady? That was horrible.
Curve gets away with it every day. I think because they're mods.
She's like totally in shock when she finds out the moon landing was fake. She's like, really?
Beach, you need to go and listen to yourself on the live stream.
I understand. I'll fix it when I can, but I can't fix it yet.
No, really, seriously, I'm wondering what's your thoughts on that? Like him and his wife and his wife's father. So that would, that's a, he's dead now, of course, but like 3 older people from that generation didn't believe in the moon landing for whatever reason. I mean, that's behind their thought, but there definitely wasn't YouTube crazy,
Of course. If you think that YouTube is exclusively the only way anybody could ever think the moon was fake, landing was fake, that's nonsense. There's always been there's always been a conspiratorial extreme, a small minority of people who think everything is faked, including Vietnam.
These are not conspirators.
Clearly they are. They think the moon landing was fake.
Yeah,
They're conspirators.
to them because I know they're not.
But if they think the moon landing is fake, they are by definition conspiratorial.
I don't know if you interrupt him. The microphone is just terrible.
They say, no, that's no way. But then you say, well, you think we went to the moon?
No, I mean, the microphone is bad enough. The interruption.
I know, I heard you.
All right, we need to get it over with and just go ahead and vote Rakia off the island.
Never. He's a very, very welcome guest, Curve.
You only have
couldn't
one
even
vote.
fucking tell
One
his
vote.
arguments, Kimo.
I vote no.
You don't get a vote.
You can't just get rid of flat earthers because you don't have an argument to challenge them.
I'm not talking about getting rid of flat earthers. I'm talking about getting rid of Rakia.
Well, again,
What's your thought, Curve? Why do you think someone like that, like a well-rounded person, successful, he's retired, lived a great life, has been married all his life, is not a conspirator. Why would you think someone like that wouldn't believe we went to the moon?
I have never said that there are not stupid people in the world.
So you just think he's stupid?
Also, I can't believe what you say about
when it
the
comes
man.
to this, yes.
Ricky, can you expand on what he believes? Can you expand on what he believes as far as how far down does he go? Is it just the moon landing, or is it NASA altogether? Is it government? How far does he go?
As far as I know, it's just the moon landing. Like he's kind of like Jose. He doesn't think men went to the moon.
Why?
He just thinks for whatever reason.
Only women.
I don't know. I guess he's uses discernment. I can't answer for him.
Discernment's not a reason.
And this is why it's hilarious when Kimo says that we don't have evidence or arguments for you. So an old man didn't think we were to the moon, and you don't know why. Okay.
No, well, there's
Let's
there's
wipe
people
it from the
like
history
him, is what I'm
books.
saying. What do you think about that? They're obviously not conspirators. Like they're not on the internet every day looking at all the conspiracies and going, "Oh, well, the moon landing's fake because all these other things the government lies."
We know
No,
there's
this is a guy who
there's some
supports
percentage
the government in the country, believes everything
We
else.
know there's
doesn't
some
believe
percentage of people who don't think we landed on the moon. That doesn't. I mean, I'm not sure what's so interesting about that. They're wrong. They're usually people who are paranoid about government, who will assume the government's lying, and often don't have a very good understanding of physics and science. So they think what they saw was impossible when it was really just engineering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an engineer. I don't know how much physics he had. He was a lifelong engineer.
Okay, so he had no problems with it from a technical perspective. So he knows we could have gone to the moon.
Right. I don't know how far.
So then-
it's more of a mechanical, like he was, like I said, working the paper mill all his life.
Well, you have no idea why he thinks this, huh?
I don't personally. I mean, I
Well, it's hard to
talked
speak
to
on
him
it.
briefly about it, and I just know him and his wife. And I asked where they, like, what I'm saying, who else around him, and she said her father is the one who kind of, talked to her about it.
There's a famous date. There's a date in which basically the moon landing conspiracy was blossomed, and it's when Fox aired that documentary in late '90s. That documentary they aired evidently really put the zap on people's brain, and like tons and tons of people suddenly were doubting the moon landing.
Right, because there's a lot of people, right, in the world that doubt the moon landing part.
Yeah, something like 10% in America, something like 25% in Europe, and as high as 50% in Russia.
That's a lot.
Ricky, I'd be interested in specifically why they don't think so, and then I'd also like to know if they thought that they had landed on the moon at some point, and then if their minds had changed at another point, or if they've always thought it was fake.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we sit around at Christmas and this is what we talk about. We were at the condo one time and we started talking about stuff, and that's one of the things we we're talking about. I was actually taking sunrise pictures when we were talking, and it was just us three, me, him, and his wife. Like I said, they're my brothers-in-laws, and I just thought it was strange. These are civil, Well,
again, 10% of America thinks this. What can you say? People are delusional. A lot of them probably don't hold the opinion very strongly either. They just sort of say, well, I don't really know, but I can see it being faked, or we sure did have a good reason to fake it, and that's enough for them to sort of idly suspect that it might be fake and they move on in life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agreed with them. I told them I didn't think we went to the moon either.
Well,
it's not like they were trying to press it on me, It wasn't
that was
like trying to shove it.
Why in the world would you agree with them?
Say it again?
Why in the world would you agree with them? That's silly.
Yeah, I don't think we went to the moon.
Based on what?
I don't think man can go to the moon.
Based on what?
I would say that's mostly based on my religious belief.
Oh, that's weird.
The Bible.
Okay, cool.
At least he's being honest.
I
about
don't
that.
think
That's fine.
man can ascend into the heavens.
It's not the heavens.
That
Maybe
would
that's
be
just
my basic. It's not based on physics.
maybe that's just space, and heavens is something else.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I could be fooled. I mean, I'm open to all that. It just doesn't add up, man. There's
it adds up.
increases in.
It's all about the Bible.
Yeah, I can
Reach.
see where it adds up to you.
But look, if your Bible tells you not to believe it, then so be it.
Well, it doesn't tell me not to believe in the moon landing. It just says that man, like the Tower of Babel, has tried to ascend into the heavens, and it's never going to happen.
Another verse is that they set their nest in the heavens.
Why do planes work? That's ascending into the heavens, isn't it?
No, that's not in the heavens. That's in the sky.
No, that's the sky. The firmament
Babel's higher than any building you could ever build.
The Tower of Babel was ascending into the heavens, and planes are certainly going to be higher than the Tower of Babel.
It's just the approach. They're what they were trying to do is ascend into heaven and shoot arrows and try and kill God, basically.
Well, it seems like when we fire an ICBM, that could be easily mistaken for a missile set to heaven.
Look, Veach, whatever, you just think about your spirit, right? When God decides to destroy the body and the soul, that's the most important thing, right? Not worth it. Whatever earthly goods you think you may be getting, right?
Right.
It's not worth it. There was nothing on this earth.
I told you already that there's no fraud.
No, I know you want to joke and all that kind of stuff, but in reality,
that's dead serious. There's no fraud, and you're just wrong. It's a delusion that you built up over time.
Well, you can't say now that you were not warned and not told when you meet your creator. All right?
Okay, and you can't say that you weren't told that it's a fraud, that there's no fraud, and that you're being.
It is a fraud. That's right.
Well, you're a fraud.
I heard a speaker say one time that people jump on the bandwagon type thing, like go with the masses, because they want to be on the side of Goliath, right? They don't want to be David. They want to be
everybody wants to be
the consensus.
Everybody loves an underdog.
I mean, if I'm going to bet on somebody, I'm going to bet on Goliath every time.
Exactly. That's the
Exactly,
mentality
yes.
of most people.
Yeah,
so
but
you're going to bet on
Scott's
science.
right.
You know, the
People
whole
don't
body. I
aspire.
hear it all the time.
People don't aspire to be on the side of Goliath. They root for the underdog.
Everyone roots for the underdog.
They might be rooting for it, but they're deep down. You know, they're going. I know Goliath.
Nah,
you know,
that's great.
Yeah, the underdog's never going to win.
That says more about your business, more about your attitude and your personality than it does about the world. Because I think most people don't want to be part of a big team like
What are
that.
you
Like
talking about? I'm David.
when you're saying you seem to think that everybody would want to be part of the Goliath team, and I think most people would not want to be part of the Goliath team. Most people want to be independent and do their own thing, and if anything, they want to be the underdog.
Right, we see that all the time. Like LeBron James in basketball, most people want LeBron James to lose. Most people want Tom Brady to lose. Most people want these big people who are popular and really good to lose. Most people do, and that's the exact David and Goliath thing. Now, the people that are putting money and betting probably are not betting against these people. But as far as rooting for, yeah, everyone's rooting for the little guy to win.